Good day. It's the day after Thanksgiving, which means it's the day after the eXoDOS 6.04 release. And unfortunately, we ran into a very small problem. Somehow, Quake 2 DOS port and Lifer Utilities, two of the last games we added at the last second to get the number up to 7,666 games, are missing. So, I am adding them to the torrent. I am adding them to the XML file. And while we're at it, we also found an issue with the EXO plugin DLL file that wasn't marking some games as installed due to a case sensitivity error. So that's being updated as well. All in all, it's about 5 gigabytes, maybe 5.5 gigabytes of changed data. So for those of you who have already downloaded 6.04, really quick, really easy. The longest part will be when it rehashes. You'll double click the new torrent, you'll point it to where you downloaded 6.04, you'll let it do its check. It depends how fast your machine is. It will download the changed files for you, and you're good to go. If you have not run setup yet, cool. Run setup, you'll get all the new files. If you've already run setup and you don't want to run it again, drop by the Discord, tell you exactly what to do. It's pretty easy. For the most part, you're just extracting the plugin file over your old plugin file, and then you're grabbing the XML file out of the eXoDOS metadata.zip file and copying it to your data /platforms folder to overwrite the one that's existing. That adds the 2 missing entries to your games list. Now, while we are on the topic of the new torrent, it's a good opportunity to talk about new features that we have added. So, I'm going to get over here to the right folder and switch. Boom. I'm learning this video stuff. I'm getting there. We have 2 new files in the torrent that did not exist before. One is check for corrupt install files.bat, and the other one is exomerge.bat. The corrupted install files bat file exists because we've had a handful of people come to the Discord and say, hey, I installed the project, and when I started, there's no games. And other very strange errors that don't make a lot of sense. A majority of the time, and this doesn't happen super often, but it happened often enough that I had concerns. I realized that the torrent client was downloading the files and something would get corrupted along the way. So what this does is it checks 4 files that are in your project and does a quick little hash check on them and compares it to known good values. So it will check 4 files in your project. 3 of them reside in your content folder. You've got your DOS metadata, launchbox.zip, and eXoDOS metadata files. It will then go over and go into your exoutil folder and check the util.zip. That is because a majority of everything you're installing comes out of these 4 files. Now, what this does not do is go through and check your actual game files. It would take ages to check all 7,666 game files. So we're not doing that right now, but we also have not had any reports or many reports of any problems with those files. If there is a file that is corrupted, it will tell you which one, and you can go back to your torrent client, right click the torrent, hit force recheck. It'll check all your files and it'll download any file that has a corruption. If you've got one corrupt file, there's a good chance you got more. So that will catch any games. Basically, there's a good chance that if you do have a corrupt game, it'll also corrupt one of the 4 files we're checking. Now, the other file here is exomerge. I understand that merging is confusing sometimes. I understand that there's a lot of different ways to do it. The way I recommend is to copy all the uninstalled projects into a single folder, then run setup. It'll see them, it'll install them all at the same time. There's exceptions to that rule. The Apple 2GS project, for example, has not been updated to work with that process, so it fails. This could be handy if you are using Apple 2GS, or if you just happen to have eXoDOS or some other project already set up somewhere, and then a new one comes out, and you're like, man, I don't want to rerun setup again on a project I've already got set up and it's running great. Or maybe you have your own stuff in a project. This works for that too. See, when you run exomerge.bat, it tells you, and now this does have to be run from a command line because you're going to have to type in command line arguments. The example here, exomerge, d:\exowin3x, and then d:\exoDOS. Now, you'll definitely need these quotation marks. If there's any spaces, in your folder name. However, even without spaces, it's probably still a good idea to put them in there for safety. You're taking whatever in the first folder you define, and it will copy it to the second folder you define. When the process is done, you start Launchbox in the second folder, and you will see this project now exists over there as well. They have been merged together. Once this is done, you are safe, if you wish, to delete the files in the first location. That way you don't have redundancy. Hopefully that explains the process. Again, if it does say there is here's your link on YouTube to check out the video on how to do merges. Sorry, it's Black Friday and I'm getting deals. If you have questions about either updating your torrent, updating your already installed files, running the eXoMerge.bat, please stop into our Discord. Thank you for everyone's patience while we fix these files. After I did the release yesterday, I disappeared and enjoyed my birthday. Had friends and family over. We had a great time. Today, I am, well, it's Black Friday. So hopefully those of you who are in countries that have the amazing anti-holiday of Black Friday, maybe you find a couple good deals. What you will not find is me advertising anything to you because my videos are sponsorship free. They're not monetized. I'm not here to sell you on some VPN. I'm not here to tell you about some kind of Viagra substitute. I'm not here to sell you on pet food that gets shipped to your door every day or any of the other crazy crap that for some reason sponsors think gamers or people who enjoy retro gaming want. I'm here to give you preserved games for free and make sure that we don't make too many mistakes when we're releasing it. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time.